I'm currently in the process of designing a set of cartoon monkey characters that will eventually sell on Etsy as cut files and clip art. This is a behind the scenes video of the first monkey that I've sketched. I recorded the sketch beforehand, and what I'll be doing here is I'll just be commenting on my thought process as I was sketching and as we watch the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and hit the notification bell, and let's draw some monkeys. Alright, so before I play the video, I'll just explain. I've got some reference photos on the left because it's always good to have reference when you're drawing anything in particular. For example, monkeys or any animal or people for that matter. It's always good to have a few reference photos so that you're not guessing on certain aspects of the drawing. I've got these images from Unsplash, which are commercially free images. I'll put the links in the description to give credit to the photographers, and let's play the video and get started. So here I have done sort of an action line, and I normally kind of start with the head, and I put the center line down the center of the head on both the X and the Y axis, and that gives me an idea of which way the head is pointing. And then this is just a very rough outline of the monkey's pose. This is based on the top left photo of the monkey, but there are certain things that have changed, like the direction of the tail, just to make it a bit more interesting and give it a bit more of a silhouette. And here I've made the eyes looking in one direction because with eyes it's good to have them kind of looking in some sort of direction, so they're not just straight ahead, and it just gives it a bit more interest to the character. And one thing I will note here, I'll just pause the video. One of the mistakes I've made here is that I've gone into details a bit prematurely. I should have really got the pose down and the location of the hands before starting to add detail and things like that. That's one of the mistakes I've made here that I will note for future drawings. What's best to do is get the pose right first, because as you'll see in a minute, I start to fumble around when it comes to the placement of the hands and what they should be doing. I do correct it later, but it's always better practice to, before you dive into drawing the details, get the overall pose right and make sure it's a strong, bold pose. Let's continue on. And this is where the reference came in really handy, with the left foot, well, the monkey's left foot is where the kind of the toe placement is, so they have kind of the thumb on the feet. So I probably would have missed that if I didn't have the reference imagery to go off. I'm doing the classic banana. And again, when I talked about fumbling with the pose, here I was trying to think of where the other hand should go. So in the end, I decided to put it on the knee. And you have to make bold decisions when drawing characters, otherwise you'll end up with a lifeless pose, and then you can make the most beautiful illustration, and you can finish it off brilliantly, but if the foundational pose and the foundational structure of the character isn't there, then nothing else really matters. It's not going to have the life that you want the character to have, no matter how much fancy shading or colour that you put on it. So it's always better to get it right at this stage. I mean, this isn't bad. It probably could be improved. But yeah, again, it's all a learning experience. So this is interesting. What I've done here is I flipped the canvas, because when you flip the canvas, you see the glaring sort of mistakes and imbalances. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to correct the imbalances, because when you tend to draw on one side, you don't see it until you reflect the image. And if you were doing this on paper, one of the ways that you could do it is you can hold a mirror up next to your drawing to see where the imbalances are, and then correct from there. And then what I'll do once I'm happy with the rough sketch, as you can see, I'm getting a black and I'm going to draw over it and create a more refined version of the character. One of the cool things about Photoshop and a pen display, a tablet, like a Wacom, I use an XP pen because it's a lot cheaper and they're very good. Is within Photoshop, if you hit the R button, you can rotate the canvas so that you can, draw just a lot smoother than you would do if you couldn't rotate it. It's kind of like just rotating your piece of paper when you drawing traditionally. Another great thing about working in Photoshop is that undo button, because if you want smooth lines, it's better to do it in, like I'm trying to do here with this eye, it's better to do it in one nice stroke, and the ability to hit the Control Z or the Command Z is a really cool feature that you don't get in your traditional drawing. And then what happens after I've once I'm happy with this section of the drawing, once I'm happy with the black outline that I'm doing now, I then pull it into Illustrator to vectorize with the pen tool all of the line work. That'll be in a separate video. I'm not going to do it in this video. This is purely about the sketch and the process. But that I've already actually recorded the vector in the outlines in Illustrator, so I will create a video on that shortly. That will be up shortly after this one. So again, you can see I'm doing the strokes over and over again until I feel like it's right. Just to get those bold lines. And if I was finishing this off in Photoshop, if that's what I was going to be, if the final product was going to be finished off in Photoshop, I'd be spending a lot more time making sure it was a lot more perfect than I am right now. But because I will be bringing this into Illustrator, I'm not too worried about getting it so perfect, as long as I'm happy with that it is good enough to be able to vector, because any minor adjustments I can make in Illustrator. So this is a phase 2 of the sketch refinement before finalizing it. And what I'll do now, I've turned off the blue sketch, the first iteration of the sketch. I'll flip the canvas again, and this way I can make those a few more minor adjustments to make sure that the balance is correct. Again, you don't see the mistakes sometimes when you're just working from one side. You have to flip it, and then you get a better perspective of the mistakes. And here I just changed the direction of the fur a little bit, just so it feels a bit more natural. I did make a couple of adjustments after this video. Things like the length of the back foot compared to the front foot, and the back foot seems a little bit longer, so I after I recorded this video I made it a little bit shorter. So there you have it. That was the behind the scenes video of Monkey 1 sketch. I'll be throwing that sketch into Adobe Illustrator in the next video, so please check that out. That will be up shortly. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. I'm Rob, this is Character Design Co, and I will see you in the next video.